Today I'm documenting the day that I've been building towards for months. I'm going to bring you along behind the scenes to show you the iOS app that I'm developing called Creator Sports Club. It's a networking app bringing together creators to connect over sport in real life. We've been working on it for a few months, and today's an exciting day as we're going to look at the initial designs and the UI and the UX of the app. But I won't be alone. You're going to meet Julian, who is another co-founder. He's focusing on the design, and you'll meet Andrew, who's the other co-founder, who's focusing on the tech development. So this is an exclusive look behind the scenes where you're going to see how we're developing the app, our launch strategy, and if you stay to the end, I'll share a special gift. Alright, so funny story with Julian, who you'll meet shortly. I worked with him in my first job, so I was like the young sales guy, he was a young product designer. Over the years since we left that company, over like the last 10 years, quite entrepreneurial, come up with different ideas for different digital products and apps. And I'd always email Julian my ideas, and every time he would email back with a budget and a timeline. And I'm like, no, that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for, a co-founder and someone to help bring this product to life in partnership. And so a fun story that I like to tell is this, because finally with Creator Sports Club, I actually emailed him my budget and my timeline, thinking that's what he would respond to. And this is the first time he replied and emailed me back saying, Alex, let's do this in partnership. That was pretty cool, and we're really excited to be working together and bringing this to life. So Creator Sports Club, it's like LinkedIn, but for creators and creative founders and entrepreneurs. We really believe that LinkedIn isn't the place. They want to meet like-minded people, creators, and we're seeing a big trend with running clubs at the moment. And running clubs are great and they're super popular because they're bringing people together and it's building community in your local cities, but you don't know who you're meeting. And so with Creator Sports Club, it's literally a Creator Sports Club. It's a sports club in your pocket on an iOS app that's beautifully designed, and we really believe in the simplicity of design. So it's super simple. The concept is that you apply to become a member, you get vetted, you're then going to pay a membership throughout the year, and then on the first of every month you're going to be matched with 3 other creators. So there'll be 4 of you that are put into a group chat within the app, and then you're incentivized to find time in the month to meet, and that could be around a paddle, it could be tennis, it could be a hike, it could go for a swim. Whatever it is, it's to help bring you together with like-minded people through networking in sport. So we've been building this for nearly 6 months. I think what's great is that you've got 3 experts in their relative field, but we're all working on different projects. And so it was just trying to find a timeline that works for all of us to build and get this out for spring, because that's kind of a key launch time for us in the Northern Hemisphere. And today it's exciting because Julian and Andrew are going to be here. They've just texted me. They'll be here in 5 minutes, and they're going to walk through some of the designs, the logos, the fonts, and look at the mood board and how we're going to bring this to life.
It's only first mock, but I'm kind of excited in the direction of leaning on more photography and that kind of style.
No, I think I love the color palette. I think it's really nice. Do you like it, Andrew?
Yeah, I think it's it looks really cool for a first pass. It's really nice.
Yeah, honestly, I think this is like, you couldn't be more in fashion.
So the purpose of this exercise is to look at the customer segment, which is customer jobs, pain points, gains, and then the value proposition. So this is what the actual product or service is, the gain creators and the pain relievers. So it's about matching your customer segment with the value proposition, and this is where the term value proposition,
product market fit,
yeah. So this is your market, this is your product, and where it aligns, that's the fit. So the gains are like the core gains, meetups what actually happen, making real friends, not just contacts, forming meaningful ongoing connections. That's a gain of joining the club. And then these are the pain points, like these are the things people currently struggle with. So doom scrolling, wanting less phone time, wanting to be less dependent on habits, wanting to change habits, social change, emotional pains, so loneliness.
So like from doing this exercise, we now kind of, it's helping us inform the shape and kind of the way that we're going to build the app. So why did we do this, and then how does that help your design process?
It helps map out the core proposition underneath the app. So if you just launch an app, you don't understand like the core proposition properly, like you don't understand your customers, or you don't build a product that aligns with the customers, then you're just building an app without any basis.
I think a lot of people, it's like just creating an app, but there's a lot of thinking that goes behind it in terms of like the needs and the wants, and then the psychology about creating a great experience for customers. And like, I think that's what's been exciting about this process. Doing like almost like a 4-hour workshop was really kind of understanding who's the customer, what do they want, how can we provide a product that is simple but then people are proud to kind of use, and it becomes something that people are going to use daily. So I think it's really interesting how much psychology and like the mechanics behind the scenes to make a good app, because there's obviously thousands of apps. So like, what makes ones that are like better than others, right?
We really need to be careful not to make it like, just to keep the interface very, very simple
to start with.
Yeah, but even as we go forward, like, and we add features, make sure it's like we don't have lots of things to select. It's literally just like a start a game, join a game, just like click, I'm in. We don't want to have it like, you're selecting dates, you're selecting times, you're saying I can't do this time, I can do that time. It's like, you create a game, this is the day, we're done, you join when you're done.
So just here getting a nice Italian sandwich for lunch. We had a good meeting. It was great to see the update, so thank you guys. But for Creator Sports Club, there's a few moving parts, and it's about kind of establishing what that V1 is for launch. Kind of from the meeting today, what were a few of the things that we have to work on?
So we probably need to work on the membership.
So I think it was membership, it's understanding what that V1 is. Like, obviously we want to have lots of different features, but I think it's important to get the product out and really get a lot of users, and then we can start to think about the different features that we want to add in like a V2.
At the same time, we need to get some like differentiating factors. So like, we need to make sure that we have a USP, even if it's maybe not in V1, it's at least alluded to so people know it's coming. I think that's one potential way of doing it.
From today, when do you think is realistic in terms of timeline for launch?
So we're looking at probably mid-April. The website, I think we can spin something up pretty quickly in the next 1-2 weeks. So if we want to have...
The next one.
Mixed.
Next. Salami one.
Salami,
Chicken.
Yeah, great. Thank you so much.
Okay,
we're good. All right, cool. So we just wrapped with Julian and Andrew. It was great to have some time with them in person. What we've been doing is having weekly calls to kind of check on the status and the progress. So, having 3 people, we are the 3 co-founders, but kind of expertise in each relevant field. So you got Julian, who's the design, Andrew's the product development, and then myself kind of leading on the launch and the marketing kind of vision of the product. And I think, having those weekly calls are great, but it is about kind of meeting in person, and kind of the first time for me to really see those designs and get a sense of the look and the feel and how it's going to be. Like, that's what really gets me excited, having them on the table, walking through kind of the flow when you log in, what's going to happen next, discussing some of the features. I think, good things do take time. This was originally supposed to launch mid-March, but it's now been pushed to mid-April, end of April, which is absolutely fine. I think things sometimes going to be a bit delayed, and that's expected. So just really, really excited about what we're building, what we're doing. Great team in place. I think now for me, I've got to do a bit of work behind the scenes around that launch strategy. I think the priority is getting that website done, having a waitlist button, and once I've got that, I can start to outreach to our creator ambassador founders, and that'll be the way in which we're going to hopefully organically get a lot of reach across the key launch cities and go from there. All right, so that is a wrap on today's vlog. I really tried to kind of bring you along and show you a lot of the behind the scenes as to the thinking that goes on within the app. I hope that you found it useful. There was a lot of interesting insight there, both from Julian and Andrew. I think, it's amazing being in the same room with them, and even like what I'm contributing to the conversation, and how, we're aligned, but then each person has their expertise and contributing kind of different insights, or, not being afraid to push back. And I think that's something I'd say to any kind of entrepreneur or founder. When you're starting something, you have to be open-minded, and I think the best thing you can do is to either hire people that are better than you at their relative skill sets, or, you know, look at collaborating with other people that excel in their specific expertise. And so in this case, you've got, you know, Julian, who's the product designer, Andrew, who's the tech developer, and then myself coming from kind of creative marketing, community building vision. And so like all three combined, you know, I think that's a pretty powerful combination. I think, yeah, today was super successful. It was great to see kind of the V1 of some of the designs. I really like the colors. I think that's a very in fashion color palette at the moment. I'm super happy about that. Yeah, I've been looking forward to this for a long time. I'm super passionate about the branding. I think everything that I see in the market regarding kind of the power of community, you know, the trends we're seeing, people are craving in-person connection. I think AI is kind of causing a lot of disruption, and people are kind of getting sick of it. You know, a lot of big industry leaders, a lot of investors are talking about experiential and kind of IRL in-person events, and it's something that I talk about. You know, it is about having that offline advantage, whether you are a creator, a coach, a consultant. If you're building a personal brand, if you're an entrepreneur developing a product, it's amazing having that online community, but how are you bringing that offline? And I think that's something that I focus on kind of more in my coaching. But when we're talking about Creator Sports Club, like, it's literally all of that in a digital product. So yeah, I'm excited. I really kind of want the app to come out now. It's now the 18th of March. So this time next month, the guys said is realistic for a launch. And for me now, the task is to identify creator ambassadors that could be founding partners with us in the key launch cities. We're thinking of looking at London, New York, LA, Miami, and then Bali. And I know Bali's not a city, but because it's a small island, like we'll class it as one launch market. So yeah, super excited. For those that have stuck around this long, thank you so much. I really do appreciate you for watching. Thank you for following me on this journey. I'm still at the beginning. I'm still showing up every week, capturing these vlogs, documenting the journey. And to thank you for staying this long, I will share a special gift. So if you are interested in joining the Creator Sports Club, there will be a link in the description, and make sure you join the waitlist and sign up. And we are super excited to welcome you to the Creator Sports Club. So thanks so much, and I'll see you in the next one.